Since 2015, it's been our pleasure entertaining you. From brass commentary, controversial interviews, and sexy cave crushes, we have given you our all. We've seen other shows come and watched them go. But Inside the Cave is still here. Inside the Cave. Thought-provoking ignorance. Guaranteed. Thought-provoking ignorance. The best blend of hip-hop and R&B with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. Inside the Cave is now on Indie Central Radio. You're about to go inside the cave. The cave. Inside the cave.
Let's do it, yo.
Then it's on.
Got a problem? Need some advice? Send your questions and problems to Cat for Cat's Corner on Inside the Cave.
You want to send questions to Cat's Corner, send it in the Inside the Cave podcast at gmail.com. Hey, now check this out. This is from Cat's Corner from a listener. It's a listener from Texas. Laura, check this out, Cat. I'm a new stepmom for 2 teenage boys. Because of the death of their mother, I am white and my stepkids are black. And I'm feeling like I can't ever please them. I'm not trying to replace their mother, who I did know briefly. But I do want them to be happy, which they are never, since I moved in. When I first moved in, we had to switch bedrooms with the boys because they didn't want me in their mother's room. And I had no problem with doing. Now they don't want me to drive their mother's car. Hey, hold on, man. It's not me. This is the way the shit was wrote. Now they don't want me to drive their mother's car because they don't think I deserve to be in it. I never fooled around with their father while he was married, but I knew both of them through mutual friends at work. My stepsons think otherwise. How do I prove to them that I never dealt with their dad while he was married to their mother? And more importantly, how do I get any peace in this house? This is from Laura down in Texas. Texas. What you got, Kat?
Laura, dear, see, my issue with this whole letter is the absence of your husband. It seems like he has not made any input or rules, or you all haven't talked about and established how you would go ahead and continue to rear his children. So I think that's the biggest problem, that he married you. So it was his job to let the children know how they should behave. Now, granted, they are grieving, and I don't lightheartedly take grieving, in a simple manner. Grieving is difficult, but for children to tell you which room you can take, and for children to tell you the things that you can do to exist in a home, makes me uncomfortable. I understand being a stepmom, but you're also a person. So you have boundaries that you obviously haven't set with them because they're violating you. And I think you should talk to your husband, and you all should come to an agreement on how you're going to continue to help him rear his children, because they should definitely not be telling you what you should do.
Hey, Kat, do you read the letters before I actually read them or somebody else read them?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm about to say that's real good.
Yeah, because definitely that rendition of that letter was not accurate as we had hoped. But hey, you did well.
Hey, Cat, he don't got his glasses.
Oh shit, that's pretty good.
His belly's ball was hard to follow.
It did sound like TB was using his finger, though, right?
The bad part was that I ain't even read the story.
What
The
kind
bad
of
part is I
hot
ain't
you
even.
got in Chicago, man?
Hey, Roland, the bad part is I ain't even read the story, but I knew each syllable that was coming out of his mouth.
Oh, man.
Your ass, man, reading niggas.
Hey, man, what's even more fucked up? CB the one sent out the email.
Well, Kat being a teacher, she gave your ass a blue star for effort.
Like, do you read these? Or are you just trusting my reading to understand?
Hell no, Oh, can't nobody follow that shit. I ain't understood a fucking word you said.
Oh, that's why I send the emails out. All right. My opinion on this is that, I couldn't imagine. All I thought about is I couldn't imagine being the husband. Cat said talk to the husband. I couldn't imagine being the husband, man. Like, here's a question for you guys. Could y'all move another woman if y'all decide to move on? For whatever reason, death, divorce, however, whatever happens. Could y'all actually move another woman into the house you and your wife had together? I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
Hell yeah. Go get some Bryn
Well, I'm
Mawr.
talking about you had a marriage longer than 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm talking about.
It was longer than that.
All right. Well, goddamn it. Okay.
Go get some new paint and shit. It's on.
I think Cat hit the nail on the head, and I don't want to. I can make this a black and white issue, but I won't.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting ready to.
No, I'm not. I'm really not, because this spans all races. It doesn't matter if the woman's black. This happens with black women. This happens on the reverse side with black men coming into relationship. And I just believe that regardless of where this woman is in her life, Kat is absolutely right. What happens is we don't talk. We don't hash things out. We don't come to agreements before we walk down the aisle. We believe that love fixes everything. And that's just not the case. And then what happens is what's sad about most of these writer-inners is that we're dealing with very weak men, because these should be non-fucking issues. Them is his kids, and ain't no way in hell children should be dictating anything to adults. That's number one. I don't give a fuck if you grieving or not. You're not going to disrespect my wife. It's simple as that. Stay in your place. That's number one. Number two is that she needs to stop trying to look for acceptance. Now, I don't know if this has to do with her personality as a person or this whole stereotype thing that they say about white women. But whatever the fuck it is, she needs to get her act together and be the fucking adult. You're not looking for them to like you. They don't need to like you. They need to respect you. And you need to put your foot down and talk to your husband about what you will and won't accept. It's simple as that. And y'all need to talk, because here's the thing. They will soon and be gone.
Can I say something from experience? And I don't mind talking about this now. I was 7 years old when my dad died, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I hate to this day now that I did the stuff that I did growing up, but I made my mom life a living hell when she was dating. I mean, I was purposely bad. Like, so just so them guys would not think they're gonna move in to our house. I mean, my mom wouldn't have did it, but I'm just saying I was purposely bad. Like, you just never know, like, how kids are, man.
What does that have to do with?
That was the favor. That's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to be a child, and an adult man was supposed to be able to handle that.
Exactly.
So you helped your mom weave out the suckers, by being a kid. And all I'm saying is this dad, obviously, as Roland has said, hasn't told these children, respect my wife.
Exactly.
Because it's not about how you behave as a child. A child does as a child's supposed to do. Right. I'm the adult. So I have to teach you how to behave. So I'm sure whoever your mother ended up with, he had to go through things in order to prove to you and her that he was the best man for the job. You did right, CB, as that child.
Well, it's so many layers to this, though. I mean, first, you don't know what type of dad this man was. You don't know his relationship with his kids in the beginning.
It sounded like they was real close to their mom, right?
Well, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But evidently, he didn't deal with his kids grieving before he decided to move somebody else in.
That's the point.
And she shouldn't have moved in so soon, especially if the kids knew her prior to their mother passing.
Well, that's not what she said. She said she knew him and her, right? Not the kids.
Yeah, she knew both of them.
She knew both of them. So I'm quite sure the kids had to have seen her.
They worked together
around, because she won't be asking how can she prove to the kids that they wasn't involved, you know, when the mother was alive.
Who the fuck cares about kids' opinion?
See, come on, man.
Man,
Well,
where
I mean,
the fuck do they do that at?
It's not so much about the kids' opinion.
You can't convince an adult, let alone a fucking kid. Who
They're
cares?
not kids, they're
kids act
teenagers,
out.
man. Teenagers.
They act out. They grieving over their mother.
And
You got
show
to
them
handle that. You got to handle it a certain way.
And no. See, y'all missing what I'm saying. You show them that. I'm not saying be disrespectful, but what I am saying is you're gonna respect me. And you're absolutely right. She may not have should have married the man. She may not have should have moved in. But we here now, and that's why I addressed him because he's the head. And here's the thing: just like Kat said about CB and his mom, it don't even as the man, the kids don't even have to be yours. You still the fucking man. He's supposed to come in and address that shit. That's why I said what I said.
Man can't just come in that house and address them kids and think he gonna get some respect like that, bro. What are you talking about?
What does address mean to you, man? You act like I'm saying you come in and cuss them the fuck out. What I'm
I mean,
saying is you
that's
still
the way you
address
coming
it.
over. Like I'm the man, and what I say go, and
Nah,
you fucking
that's not-
kids. I mean, that's
Come
how
on,
you
man.
coming across.
No, I don't mean to come across like that. I'm not saying you come in and try to dictate. What I'm saying is, as a man, you lead. I'm in the same situation, bruh. My kid's dad was in jail when I met my girlfriend at the time, and then he got out. We addressed the things that needed to be addressed, and then he got murdered. So now they don't even have a fucking dad. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to deal with them processing, missing him, talking about him. And what I'm saying, as a man, as a leader, I know that this shit ain't about me. So I step out of the fucking way on certain shit. And when they went, remember we talked about this before, about the dude who was all, that's why I say it seemed like all the fucking people who write into this show are talking about these weak ass men. Remember the man was like, oh, you shouldn't go to the funeral and all that. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like you that's insecure that she can't go grieve over the fucking death of her baby's dad? Remember that shit? So what I'm saying is, as a man, he should be addressing these matters, not disrespectfully, even though they his kids. But you're supposed to be respectful to whomever, regardless if it's even not his wife, if it's his girlfriend, or if it's a visitor. So these kids just to get to be what the fuck they want to be just because they grieving? No, you got to raise your kids at the end of the day, and you raising them to be some taking advantage of dictating ass kids. That shit's not gonna work in the real world. Cause in the real world, somebody don't give a fuck that you grieving, and they gonna go upside their head with that bullshit.
All right, well, look, let's see what we get. Okay.
Go ahead, CB.
No, I was gonna see. Let's answer her question because she said, "How does she get peace in her house? How does she get peace?"
How long did she say they were together?
No, she didn't say it.
She needs to put her foot down. Let them little niggas know that.
I mean, really ain't shit she can do because, first of all, she should have addressed it before she moved in. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, regardless of everything that y'all saying, if she don't win them kids over to where they respect her,
right,
they're going to make her life hell.
A living hell.
And that man ain't going to be able to do shit to dictate those kids' behavior.
That's where
he can beat on his chest. I mean, what kind of punishment you going to put him on?
Rolling.
You
put him on
yourself, dog. You contradict yourself, fam.
Say what?
Contradict yourself. You say on this show all the time, not in Big Dog's house.
But see, that's my point.
Yeah, but Big Dog wouldn't let it happen in the first place. That's what he's trying to say.
Okay, but we here now.
Okay, yeah, but you can't say Big Dog because Big Dog wouldn't let it happen in the first place.
But see, that goes back, Roll. And I want to touch on that.
Okay.
If it comes down to a point where he got to make a decision.
Who?
Because
Who got to make a decision?
The father. If he got teenage kids, listen what I'm saying. If he got teenage kids, we don't know what his relationship was with those kids before his wife died, number one. So regardless of what kind of punishment or whatever he want to try to implement with them kids to try to make them respect their female, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. Then he's faced with a decision on how he's going to deal with his kids. What are you going to do, put them out? Make them go live with the grandparents or somebody else that may take them? You got to make a fucking decision. Everybody's not willing to make that decision.
Hey, man.
But
Sometime a parent would go through hell and high waters for their kid that they know is fucked up, and they'll let somebody else that's possibly good in their life get away because their kids are little assholes.
Man, I done seen it happen with adult kids. The mother died, and I'm talking about adults, the children in their 30s and 40s went off on their dad for starting his life over. Like, these adult kids our age that went off like and made this woman life. I'm telling you, I done seen it, man. Like, you can't say with a child.
That's what I'm saying, fam. People allow that shit in their life, man. They allow people to dictate.
But see, Ro, you can't dictate how people gonna grieve, though, bro. That's the thing.
I'm not talking about the grieving process. I'm talking about the respect level of how you gonna treat me and how you gonna treat what's connected to me, fam. That's all I'm saying. I believe that we as human beings, yes, it's true, we can't control behaviors in other people, but at the same time, there's a level of respect that you command out of certain people, especially people who you birthed that are connected to you. That's the reason why I'm not in relationship with my children right now, because they're disrespectful as young men and they're grown. I don't have to be in relationship with you. You're grown. You got your own family. If you can't come to me on the terms that I set forth, which aren't unreasonable, then you need to go on and move on, player, and live your own life, because you're not going to disrespect my wife and my stepkids, which has happened. So his grown ass wrote me a fucking 4-page letter like he was Aaliyah, and I kindly didn't answer, and he been blowing my jack up ever since, and I don't talk to him because you're not going to disrespect me. You go ahead and be yourself, boo-boo, because I don't have time for that.
Okay, that's the question I want to know. How many guys in here can put their new wife over their kids or their new relationship over their kids? Because that's a lot. That's a lot to ask out of a lot of guys.
I don't believe it is. I believe that's the lie we've been told.
No, the point you're missing, and I think we should kind of bring it back to the letter.
Just bring it back.
Is that you create those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Your children will love who you love if that's the boundaries you've created. If you've explained to your children that if I love this woman enough to bring her in this home, you have to trust the love that I have for her. And you have to respect her as you would any other adult in the home. And that's, I think, what Roland is saying about creating boundaries and saying, no, thank you. You won't talk to me that way. You won't treat me that way. Whether or not your mother has passed is here nor there. There are certain ways I want to be treated, and I don't want you to treat me that way. That's fair to say to anybody. But what I think that we're missing, and nobody, and I was kind of waiting on you guys to poke at this, but nobody did, was dad is grieving.
That's true.
Find another wife.
That is true. Yep.
That is a man who's and somebody who needs that guidance of a wife.
Yeah.
And if we're going to talk about respect and boundaries, these children aren't respecting dad's grieving.
That's true. Yeah.
Because if he brought this woman into his life from some sort of normalcy, they're destroying it.
Right.
So we have a house full of hurt people.
Yep.
And we're trying to make a new home based on pain. Mm-hmm. So my advice to this woman is learn all you can about loving you and being strong for these men that you put yourself in the midst of. You chose to be a part of these broken men's lives. Don't stand back now and say, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Sweetheart, you knew what you were walking into. There was a broken man who needed a woman to help him organize his life, and there are broken children. You knew this going in. So I'm gonna need for you to put your big girl panties on and take control of this house as a woman, any head household woman, any woman of the house, any lady of the house has responsibilities. And one of those is to organize the troops, to get the people in gear. Mm-hmm. So get your job together, boo, and do your job. Because it is too late. You're already married. You're already in this mess. And you've taken up a big responsibility. So do it. And make these men better with your presence.
Well, I might add one thing to that, Kat. Those kids have to be open to accept that. Some things you can't force.
True. All right. I think we actually Cat did a great job. I think we actually helped somebody this week. I think we did.
Third time in Cat's Corner history.
Yeah. Great job, Cat. I mean, look, I feel like I learned something. Seriously. Yeah. Good job, Cat.
You want answers?
Cleese Report.
I want the truth.
The Cleese Report with Roland on Inside the Cave.
You can't handle the truth.
We haven't done the Cleese Report on Inside the Cave in a long time, but let me tell you, you guys are going to be interested in this, and I actually got my brother-in-law, Jay, on today, stuff that me and him be talking about as well. So check this out. For those that don't know how this goes, the Cleese Report podcast is available on iTunes. It is hosted by Roland, but when the Cleese Report is on Inside the Cave, it's CB or anybody else, if they want to, they can come up with something, a conspiracy, bring it, and then Roland usually fact checks me. But today, I brought a fact checker to fact check the fact checker. All right, here we go.
I can't be fact checked.
All right, here we go. My conspiracy. Check this out. You all know that somehow I have turned into an Obama apologist on this show. And I haven't even, when he first came on the scene, I wasn't even like gung-ho over Obama. But I turned into an Obama apologist because of.
Oh, that's what they call Dick Ryan now? Apologist?
Okay. I see where you're going. It's all good. Okay.
No, I'm just messing.
No, that's cool. No, that's cool. But anyway, so I turned into an Obama apologist because I think that he has been treated unfair, worse than any other president in the past, and has accomplished more. This new president we have has been on the record that his main goal is to erase everything and anything that has Obama's name on it, or anything that sounds like Obama, or to the point where he might be starting a nuclear war. Got rid of the Iran nuclear deal.
I did hear that Trump did take the O out of White House.
Okay. All right, so this week, I'm talking about, if you notice, in Hawaii, this is my conspiracy, there's been a lot of volcanoes erupting lately. I haven't heard about volcanoes erupting since I was a kid. Maybe, I don't even think then it even actually erupted in the 80s. I just heard about dormant volcanoes. But what I was told was recently that there's nothing but volcanoes erupting all in Hawaii, destroying that place, right? About 2-3 months ago, if you all remember, it was like a Saturday morning. All of a sudden, every resident of Hawaii got a text message, take cover, there's a bomb coming your way. It's facts. You saw the article I sent you, right, Roland?
Yes. Okay.
And then about 30 minutes later, they said, oh, false alarm, no bomb coming. Get out the sewers. Everything's okay. Go about your day as normal. I mean, just think about that shit. You get a text saying that a bomb is coming, take cover. Seriously, there was mothers throwing their kids in the sewer, just throwing them, hoping that they're just running off. Like, this is facts. The mainstream media doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. But anyway. So I am under the impression, because Republicans have always said that climate control is a political tool. It's not real. It's just something. It just only affects us when Democrats are in office. This is what Republicans say. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Republicans, you're right. Climate control is controlled by politicians. And I think that Donald Trump and the Republican Party are trying to blow up Hawaii. They're trying to get rid of Hawaii, get off the face of this earth. Why? Because it's the birthplace of President Obama. They want to destroy Hawaii like they're destroying Chicago, and they want to claim that that's all Obama's doing. And furthermore, I think, if you think I'm crazy, I also believe that all these school shooters and school shootings is nothing but a campaign promise by Trump. And I think it's an inside job to get more police officers, because he's supposed to be the president that supports the police. That is my conspiracy for this week on the Cleves Report and Inside the Cave. All right, Roland.
Man, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like your love for Obama is definitely respected, and a lot of what you say, man, I respect, because when you really break this thing down and you think about what the black man has done outside of the realm of politics, just trying to survive in that upper echelon, but being black. But believe it or not, this thing is bigger than Obama. Okay, so the conspiracy about doing something to Hawaii is actually true. Conspiracy theorists everywhere saying that the government is using the HAARP system, which has been blamed for the hurricanes in as far as Katrina and the hurricane we just had for Houston and the one that went up the coast, from Florida. So while climate change is one aspect of a political argument, it's no secret that that because of climate change, that the government is manipulating the weather. And they believe that in doing so, they can help this climate change. Now, what is about Hawaii is a thing called Agenda 21, where the theory is that you destroy private lands and you try to regulate everything. That's why they're using global change and everything. You bring a whole bunch of regulations in, and it's a way to control and manipulate the resources. So while I do believe you're on point as far as there actually being a conspiracy, it has little to do with Obama. So nice try, but you kind of missed the mark on that one, buddy.
Okay. Jerome, would you like to add to this?
Well, where do I start? Well, the HAARP system, which for those of you who don't know, is an acronym. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It was started some time ago when I was in the Navy. I've been to the HAARP facility in Alaska, and all it is a research facility. Now, what I will tell you is the ultra low frequencies that do occur there, they give me a headache. But other than that, all it does is just monitor EM frequencies, wave patterns. Now, this is 20, almost 30 years ago, so it is possible that they can, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily control the weather, but maybe influence the weather.
Manipulate.
You can do some of that. I will give you that. But control the weather, no.
I didn't say control. I said manipulate. But go ahead.
And I would gather that it would be more of an influence. Push it this way or that way. They can't. I doubt that they can trigger volcanoes. Now, to your point, CB, Mount Kilauea has always been an active volcano. It's called a shield volcano. It's been active since the 80s. So it erupts from time to time. They're only making a big deal out of it because, it's shooting matter 30,000 feet in the air, that sort of thing. So, that's a big deal in the news cycle. Beyond that, it will continue to erupt because the Hawaiian Islands are what? They're all a chain of volcanoes. Some of them are dormant, like Diamond Head, and some of them are active, like Kilauea, which is on the main island. So I don't think Donald Trump is... In order for Trump to be in charge of... Let's assume that the HAARP system can control weather. In order for Trump to control that, that means he has to be part of what he calls the deep state, which is the shadow government that controls all the ancillary things that happen in our world, the dark web sort of stuff. So beyond that, Donald Trump isn't smart enough to be in the deep state.
Well, Jay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's deep about that is that no president is in control of that. They're actually another pawn in that system. So while CB wants to turn this into a Trump doing something. Trump is just a mouthpiece. So everything that is being done. So let's, like you said, for a second, let's just assume for a second that something is going on with attacking Obama. It sure as hell ain't Trump that's making it happen.
Well, if you're okay, Trump has a hard on for Obama because he got world-class level embarrassed in the last remember that press dinner that they had, and Obama just railed on him for about a good 20 minutes. He has never forgotten that, because in Donald Trump, on Planet Donald Trump, you can't do that to me. So now that he's president, he's everything. And one thing CB's right, he's trying to undo everything Obama has done. And now, though I don't necessarily agree with everything he has done, one thing is certain, that he cannot stand that brother's guts, and that's going to be his downfall, because I'm a firm believer what comes around goes around, and he's going to get his just due.
Hold on. I want to be told that I was right. This is
wrong.
No. This is deeper, man. Everything that's going wrong in this country is because this man is trying to take out anything with Obama's name on it. That's why he wants to send the feds to Chicago to destroy it. That's the reason why he's trying to blow up Hawaii. I really believe that.
Now, again, like I told Roland, CB, I love you to death, and I've known you since you were in high school. A good conspiracy must make sense. So when you say that all these school shootings are tied to Trump, you have to remember there are a couple of things you have to remember. Number one, why aren't there any school shootings in predominantly black neighborhoods? The reason being is because they're locked down like Fort Knox. Now they kill each other all around the school, but inside the school, it's probably the safest place they could be. Now, in these schools where all the mass shootings are happening, where they happen in middle class to affluent white areas.
Exactly.
So what happens is they're in social denial, because they think that because I pay $50,000 in taxes a year and I have this, tier 1 school, then my children are automatically safer, and that's not necessarily the case. And they don't want metal detectors in this area because they are in denial. I don't want my son to go to a school where those black kids go to, where they have to go through metal detectors. And
you're making my point for me. That's what you're doing. Because that's what I'm saying. How do you convince that area that we need more policing, which is a campaign promise? I'm going to rebuild and get more police officers. How do you do that?
But that's not what they're doing. They're actually trying to arm the teachers. You're not making any sense.
Okay, that's the NRA. He owes them too.
But you can't change the argument because it's not.
I'm not changing the argument. Everything that's going on is a campaign promise from Trump. He owes the NRA. He owes the police department, the what they call it, the federal, whatever, them fraternal police, whatever.
FOP.
Fraternal police.
What fraternal? Yeah, right. He owes them people. So how do you do it? By convincing women. How do you convince women? Middle-aged, middle-class women. Oh, you shoot up their kids. It's an inside job, man. He's tied with these Nazis. That's why he said Nazis are good people. And then who's the guy that shot these people? That shot these schools up? They're Nazis. My conspiracy is on point.
No, it's not.
Hey, CB, take your head off, CB.
Take yours off.
No, take your head off for a second.
10-4 hat.
Oh, I was trying to see if you had the aluminum foil on top of your head.
No, he got saran wrap, bro. Because that's
it's something little right here.
I love a good conspiracy as well, man. It's just you're not making any sense. Look, here's the problem. Here's the first problem with your argument, right? When you talk about government conspiracy, you don't talk about the people that are seen. You can't tell me that there's a conspiracy about some shit he's actually doing in the law. No, that's just him doing some dumb shit. The conspiracy is the hidden hand behind it. That's why I said it ain't about Trump. It's bigger than Trump. It's not about Obama. It's bigger than Obama. You see what I'm saying? It's the hidden hand that controls behind the government. Like I told you before, Trump didn't get in office because white people voted him in. he was placed in. If you notice, anytime they want to get anything done, as far as increasing the economy, they do it with a Democrat. They less the Fed, which is not a government organization, privately owned, sets the interest rates low, and then they loan money and they have a big boom. Now in 2018 it's a little bit different, but it definitely was effective in years past, because that's the reason why Bill Clinton was credited with this big influx where he put a surplus in the deficit, because what was happening at that time? There was the dot-com boom and interest rates were super low and they were loaning money out the wazoo, right? So anytime they want to cut shit or fuck shit up, they put a Republican in, and who better to follow Obama than a non-politician to just go in there and just do everything unconventional, so they put him in place.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, but Roland, you're right up until that point, because
How the fuck am I right up until that point? I'm
because
right
look, the problem is he's taking credit. This is rock and roll, brother. When you think of rock and roll, you don't think of Little Richard. You think of Van Halen. This is what Trump is doing. He's taking credit for Obama's economy. His stuff doesn't even take effect till next year.
Oh, okay, that's a great example. Do you believe that Elvis was in power to make any changes? No, he took credit, but he wasn't the person behind the scenes doing it. It was the record labels. It was the label execs. They were the ones that wasn't allowing black people on record covers. Okay. They were the ones that were stopping their records from being played on the radio, or paying what they call payola. Look that word up, where they were paying the radio stations to play Elvis music instead of Little Richard's music.
Right.
Okay, Roland, I agree with some of this, what you've said, but one thing you have to remember is when there's a Democrat in place, yes, there's an increase in the economy, and then when there's a Republican in office, typically you see warfare.
Right. I was just saying typically.
Right. So now I will tell you this, that when you become president, you have your official national security briefing. You have to take a look at how these people are looking before they take this briefing and afterwards. And I can tell you that Donald Trump looks exactly the same, which means he didn't have the same, whatever it is that they tell him.
Whoa.
Which typically, now I would tell you,
giving them the keys to the UFOs and all that shit. I got you.
Here's Jimmy Carter.
That's why Obama look old as fuck right now.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter's chief of staff said that after he had his first national security briefing, he went to his office, sat down, put his head in his hands, and he wept. So whatever they told him, because it's just for the president. So whatever they told him,
tell Trump shit.
Damn.
Exactly.
Damn.
That's the point.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. He ain't in control of the fucking thing.
So to prove the deep state theory, conspiracy theory, is they do skip presidents. Now I will tell you, they told Bush 41, they told Clinton, they told Bush 43, and they told Obama. But they did not tell Trump. They did not tell Trump. Why? Because he talks too much. That's why he does, because he would say whatever it is they tell him. Because I promise you, if you look at Obama,
he would tweet that shit.
After he became president, he was so somber. So whatever they said to him, whether it's reptilians who run the thing and they unzip their skin and be like, look, you gotta do what we say, or we're gonna
sound like you fucking agreeing with me. Where's the part where you disagree with me?
Well, yeah, Jay, you almost sound as crazy as Roland on here. Talking about unzipping your body and shit.
That part was a joke. But my point is that you have to remember that, yes, the president, the one thing that I don't agree is that they placed him in office.
I think they voted that clown in office.
No, well, oh, absolutely. I told because
you believe in the vote. Stop it.
Oh, absolutely.
Jay.
You kidding me? But listen to what I'm saying. Now, remember, they want you to believe. They want you to think that your vote doesn't count.
Because it don't.
If your vote doesn't count, then there's no hope. Then you can't affect change. The problem is that we treat the Democratic and Republican Party as we serve them, and that's not the case. They are a tool of the people. Once we start realizing that that's all they are, not just the Democratic Party, but every politician that serves in Washington or in your local state is a tool of your will.
How do you hold them accountable? How do you hold them accountable?
The only way to hold them accountable is to vote them out. If they don't do what you say, you get rid of them.
But here's the problem with that. Here's a great example of the problem with that. What was the numbers again? 41 and 43. Do you realize that every single president every single seat in president is related by blood in one way or another? That should tell you right there.
Well, we're all related in blood one way or the other.
I ain't talking about back to the fucking motherland, man. You know what I mean. Fuck out of here. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Listen, that's true. That would be true under normal circumstances. But here's the thing. It's like they call the old boys club. So while let's take it hood. Since all y'all Negroes is from Chicago, let's take it hood. You kill one street nigga, what happened? Another street nigga rises up in this state. so you can vote that one dude out. The next dude's coming in to do the same fucking thing. Here's accountability. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's no accountability in politics. I would love for it to work the way y'all say it works. But what I'm saying is I'm 46 years old, right? I actually can remember back to Ronald Reagan. Right. I remember when Reagan got shot. That motherfucker was a different nigga. He wasn't trickle down Reagan when he first took office. He was coming in there bust some shit up. And then they had that bullet that missed his motherfucking heart by inches because they was trying to put Bush in office. And they said, listen, you go fucking with the Fed if you want to.
Right.
Your ass to be in a casket. I'm trying to tell you that these whatever this hitting hand is, they are so good that they don't give a fuck about who thinks they
rolling on
talk about them till we blue in the face on YouTube. We can do all that shit. They are not in fear of us because this hitting hand is so fucking good that if you step out of line too far, you in a casket. Simple as that.
They rolling.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, Jay.
No, my point is that as long as you're afraid of the system, nothing's going to change. If we're unwilling to sacrifice ourselves for each other, we're doomed people. That's all I'm saying.
How, Jay? How?
How what? What
that's what I was going to call you.
Hey, Jerome, you see what I go through now? You see what I go through? This motherfucker just told us why Reagan was shot. God damn.
I mean, and see, now that conspiracy is believable. I can go with that because I'm sure they'd be like, they came in the room and like, look, we told you, right?
Thank you.
We told you. Now, act crazy again if you want to.
I gotta say this. You two just taught me something. I don't know how Joe and Velli feel, but between what I just heard about Reagan, which I know Roland did before on another podcast, but what you said about them not telling Trump everything because the way he looked,
close that.
That's something new. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but that's something new.
That shit did on point.
That's the first time I heard or even thought about that. I got to hand it to you on that one. That's pretty good.
That's why I said we got to have him back on.
All right, we'll have him back on. Hey,
Want to advertise on Inside the Cave podcast? Would you like to have your company or product featured before a segment? Email us insidethecavepodcast@gmail.com. Subject: advertise.
Get the latest in cave fashion at cavecrushshop.com. That's cavecrushshop.com.
Follow Inside the Cave on Instagram for more thought-provoking ignorance. We repost, you decide.
Now you're feeling freer than you ever.
Yo, y'all wanna see the sexiest women on the planet? Then follow Cave Crush on Instagram. Cave Crush is poppin'.
New segment. The new segment starts now.
Look, I'm introducing a new segment. Hopefully it catches on. These guys in here are pretty witty, so I'm sure they can handle it. This segment is inspired by the fact that I just realized that this is my 20th year, me and Veli's 20th year high school reunion. And if someone would have told me in 1998, think about this, Veli. If someone would have told us in 1998 that Donald Trump would be president in 20 years and Snoop Dogg will have a gospel album. Just think about this. In 1998, someone tells you, hey, in 20 years, Snoop Dogg gonna have a gospel album. I mean, just think about it. What would you have said?
I probably would have seen Donald Trump as president before I saw Snoop Dogg album.
But both of them happening.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same fucking time. So
I can't even lie, I skimmed through it too, just to see, like, is this real?
Yeah. So this inspired me a new segment, and you guys got to be pretty witty. Come, be clever, be witty, be funny. Go around the cave a little bit. This is called In the Year 2038. So I want you guys, we're gonna go around. You all tell me what will happen this time in the year 2038. Maybe that's what I'll call it. This time in the year 2038. I'll go first. This time in the year 2038, LeBron James will still be playing in the NBA. And he will be averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. They will finally move him to power forward this time in the year 2038. Now, Veli, I know you just as witty as me. Go ahead, Veli. What you got? This time in the year 2038.
Hey, man, you can't even put me on the spot like that. I'm
Come on,
man.
Roland, what you got, man? Come on.
Oh, I got one.
Go ahead,
in
tell
the
me.
year 2038, just like peacocks, males will be wearing lipstick, sew-ins, and dresses to attract women.
They already doing it
right now.
Already doing that.
2018, goddamn.
And they'll be getting their hair and their nails did.
Yeah. Let's see if we're right on this. Sly.
Okay.
Hey, I can make it anything, or I'm going out.
This time in the year 2038.
Washington, D.C. will no longer be a District of Columbia. It will be called Wakanda, D.C.
Hell no.
And the entire council will be a bunch of Avengers.
Cousin Lamar, you got something?
When you come back around, I got another one.
Okay, Cousin Lamar, you got something?
Yeah, I got something. All right. So this year, in the year 2038, Colin Kaepernick will own the entire NFL.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, I hope so.
That's solid.
Damn. Big Dog.
Man, this time in the year 2038, Courtney Blackman will still be trying to colon cleanse.
Odds on that one is good.
Damn.
That's a 3-1 odds right there, dog. You got a chance.
Damn it, dog.
Damn.
Wow. Man. Damn. What
Wow.
you got?
I got a
Stop
couple.
hating on LeBron, goddamn.
LeBron gonna be playing with his son. That's what you should have said. He gonna be playing with his son too, CB.
Yeah, he will.
Hey, LeBron might be owning the team that his son played for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually realistic.
Yeah, it really is.
That ain't even no joke. That ain't even funny.
Yeah.
That shit's real.
Got about 8 more years. All right, let me see. This time in 2038, not only will marijuana be legal, but so will prostitution.
Yes.
On top of the fact, Bill Cosby will be going to court for his 500 alleged rape case.
That motherfucker still be alive?
And R. Kelly will be found in Idaho in another sex cult. Still dressing like he's 23 years old in the year 2038.
Damn. Oh shit, Rolly, you say you got another one, man?
Yeah, this one's on a political note.
All right.
In the year 2038, this time in the year 2038, the president will no longer be run by a person. It will be ran by an artificial intelligence computer called Set. And it'll be in his second term.
Yeah.
It might be Siri. Siri versus Alexa in the presidential election in 2038.
Hey, did you know they found
women.
that bitch? They found that bitch? Hey, Veli.
Huh?
You know they found that bitch Siri?
They found her where she was at.
No, I'm dead ass serious. Look.
The real Siri?
Yeah, listen.
You serious?
Listen.
The bitch that did the voice. That's what you told me.
You serious?
Yeah, look, they did the. Okay, so when did Siri first come out? It was like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So this bitch did the all with She Can Say and all that shit. She did that shit like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just now they had start using it. She didn't even know what she was recording for. She didn't know she was gonna be recording to be like this person. But yeah, they found it's an old white lady.
Damn.
So just let you know, Siri's an old white lady.
Wow.
Did she get paid though?
Right.
She got what's fucked up is she got paid for the work she did then.
You ain't getting no royalties.
Check right now.
No royalties.
So Roland, are you saying that Steve Jobs' death was related to the disclosure of the real Siri?
Hey, Belly, I'm telling you right now, that better be part of the wait what? Motherfucking Siri versus Alexa is in the
two women.
Man, for president of the United States, if that's not the funniest shit, that's some shit Chris Rock would say.
Hey, and the secret intelligence will be ran by Facebook.
Wow.
It already is.
It already is.
Amazon Echo is Secretary of Defense.
Wow.
Exactly. Wow.
Hey, that means ain't gonna be no police in the street. They just gonna sit in the office and watch and be on Facebook waiting for a nigga to do something stupid and post it.
Shit.
Hey, I tell you what. With all this damn smart technology, everybody put in their house.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna need no cops. They can lock your ass up.
Yeah.
Lock you up in your own motherfucking house.
Yeah. Come right in your house.
You up in the crib cooking eggs.
Hey,
you and that motherfucker trying to figure out why you can't get out. Fucking doors locked, every goddamn thing.
I will be voting in that presidential election though. My vote going to Alexa.
Nigga, I'm voting for Vicky from Small Wonder.
Oh shit! All right, so y'all like that? We can try that every week in the year 2038.
Yeah, no.
That was actually pretty decent. See,
yeah, that was good. That was nice.
Yeah. Dog said hell no. I was waiting for that.
I think this is a game show.
I'm surprised he actually participated.
In 2038, Alabama gonna have a professional football team.
Oh, you didn't say that, did you?
You never know.
Hey,
dog, you talked about a team? Dog and Charles Barkley?
Oh, man.
Oh, that's what you on, Sly?
Hey, he's new. Can he say that? Hey, brother, he's new. Can he say that?
You know what? I think he made his 90 days already.
Oh, okay. Wow.
A professional, some team, ice hockey, something.
Can he take shots at Big Dog and he just got here? Man.
Hey, hold on.
Hey, as long as he knows,
Hawks.
I never forget.
Right.
Hey, Sly. And he don't neither.
He don't forget.
He don't forget.
Hey, well, you know Alabama is in the top 5 of most racist states. So what's going to be the name of the team? The Alabama Racists? The Alabama what?
The Alabama niggas.
Damn.
And they going to have a big-ass
Confederate flag.
on the side of the helmet.
Confederate
flag.
Your
face on the side of the helmet.
Wow.
gonna have a sambo. They're gonna have a sambo over top of a Confederate flag.
Hey, y'all ain't shit.
All right.
America will finally have someone to look up to. His name is Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt in the building.
With the best segment on the Cave Podcast.
Tell him something, Joe.
When inside the cave.
See, we got little kids. I hope he can't hear.
No, he can't hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Because you know
why Joe was hesitating.
Right.
And this is gonna be a shitty story right here. I don't know if I heard this in the news or what.
Oh shit, sound like literally.
But a woman furiously shits on the floor of Tim Hortons and throws at the employees.
I seen that shit.
I heard about that. My wife told me about that.
I seen that, Joe. That's a real. Hey, y'all, this is a real story. Go ahead, Joe. Break that shit down.
So a woman in Canada, I'm telling you, a woman in Canada got pissed off at the employees because after reading, I found out they ain't let her use the bathroom. So she said, "Okay, don't worry about it." That's what it was. So she said, "Don't worry about it. I'ma shit right here on your floor." So she took a dump. Not only did she take a dump. Hey, remember I did the story, CB, about the girl that put the shit in her damn purse?
Yeah.
She didn't put it in her purse. She took it and she threw it at the employees.
Wow.
Then she grabbed some napkins, wiped her ass, and threw that at them too.
True story. True story.
Hey Joe, I had wondered. I said, how in the hell did she shit on command like that? I said, she was in that shit with her for a minute. And she cucked over bad and shit. And
she was like,
it was a lot.
And she told him she had to use the bathroom.
I didn't know she had to use the bathroom. It was an issue with they wouldn't let her use the bathroom. That is hilarious. Oh,
so she probably came in, wanted to use the bathroom, wasn't gonna buy nothing there. They was like, "No, you can't use the bathroom unless you pay."
Wow.
So,
she was white, wasn't she, Joe?
Yeah.
Hey, look at it on the bright side, lady.
Black dude would have went outside and shit on the building or something.
I was gonna say, look on the bright side, white lady. At least you ain't get shot or arrested.
Yeah.
Ain't that something? Now, ain't that some shit? Literally, ain't that some shit? Now she can come in and shit on in a public place.
She got arrested.
Yeah, but how come she didn't get shot?
Hey, listen.
Shot for
They just dragged some two women out of Houston's and you heard what Roland said earlier, dragged them out. This woman just shitting through the shitty napkin at them.
She's in Canada. You know, Canadian people different.
Oh.
And look at the two black guys. Look at the two black guys at Starbucks. Yeah. They got dragged out. They wasn't even doing that.
Man, send me that story so I can text it to my white friends.
He sent it to the cave.
I'm close to Buffalo, and of course Buffalo is close to Canada, right? So the Tim Hortons have trickled all the way down here. And when I seen it on Instagram, they were saying that it was a Starbucks. I was like, no, that ain't no Starbucks. That's a Tim Hortons, because I could tell by the decor and shit, right? Yeah. So what I don't get is why did she pick up the big huge glob of shit and throw it at the people? Like, could you imagine being on your job, making minimum wage, and getting shit thrown at you? Like, I didn't sign up for this.
Exactly. She wasn't with that shit. Like dogs say, I ain't with
this shit. With that shit.
Hey, you ain't sign up for that shit.
Right.
Hey, and I thought it was great when that dude threw that shoe at George Bush back in the day.
Oh, hold on, but wasn't George quick with it though?
Oh man, that boy, he dug like he was from Chicago.
Hey Joe, you got a sponsor this week? Joe, you got a sponsor this week?
Yeah.
What?
Charmin.
Charmin.
I was gonna say wet naps.
Man, for real, hand sanitizer, all that.
If I was a cop, I wouldn't want to touch her because I know she didn't wash her nasty ass hands.
Yeah, how do you arrest that person? Like, if anybody deserved to be shot, like, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to arrest, like you said, you don't want to arrest somebody like that. That's crazy.
You know how they say too, CB, like when they talk about what would you do if somebody spit on you?
Right.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
How do you even tell that story though?
Play some old dirty bastard. That means you've been shitted on.
Hey, people man is a whole other realm, bro.
How do you explain that though when you go home? Hey, how was your day? Man,
It was shitty as hell.
Fucking threw some shit at me. What?
All right, that was the dirt sheet.
It's time for the wrap up. Wait, what?
What's going on out there, people? It's another Wait What for your ass. We missing a couple people, and I'm gonna start off with our man Sly. Is Sly really on vacation, CB? Or did he just not want to read today? Wait, what? He it's a bouncing ball joke going around, Jerome.
He knows.
I just say that.
He knows. He listens.
Yeah.
Did CB go on the 0 to 100? That 0 to 100 whole rant earlier?
I really forgot what my 0 to 100 was.
He went on a whole rant.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
Was Cat talking about my diet doing her 0 to 100?
I remember hers.
Honey buns. That was all the shit I took for lunch this morning.
Right.
Will Future's Mask On song be an old school classic consistently being sampled in 2038?
Hey, who said that?
Wait, what?
That was Roland.
No, Roland. That was Roland Conspiracy. Did Roland mention Draymond and his ball kicking fetish? Wait, what? Is Joe planning to pawn that guy's ring?
Right.
Did we have our own Big Three conspiracy theory tonight?
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good one, man. Did Roland just turn politics into Chicago gang activity? The man said, I'm gonna break it down for you since y'all in Chicago.
When another nigga gets shot.
If a nigga do a drive-by, then go get some Uncle Remus or Harold's with mouth sauce.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
That deserves a wait what. Does Roland really know who killed Biggie and Pac and why? Wait, what? Come on, Roland. Who did it, man?
I can tell you who killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Damn.
Hey, by the way, hold on, Belly. By the way, the guy who Roland thinks killed Martin Luther, remind me to edit this out. AJ, guy who Roland thinks killed Martin Luther King Jr. was at our house. You know that, right?
I remember.
I forgot about the minister.
Remind me to edit that out. All right, go ahead.
That was already on another podcast. Too late.
Right. Too late. 7 years. 7 years.
Go ahead, Belly.
Did that restaurant tell the woman she was shit out of luck? Wait, what? Talk about a shitty tip. And that is the wrap up for tonight's episode with your boy Bellyville.
That was pretty good.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Cave. Get the latest Cave Crush and Inside the Cave gear at cavecrushshop.com. Thought-provoking ignorance with special guests and cave crushes. Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave. 3 Lee Films.
You did say you wanted to be in, right?